Are you ready?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Weeb Club. This is the first duo podcast between Nun and I, where we're going to be playing all the Sonic games, watching all the Sonic media, except for, I think, the American cartoon, and reading all the comics and everything.
Well, there's like 2 American cartoons that we're not watching.
Oh, because we're not watching Sonic Boom either, right?
No, there's Sonic. There's like the one with the Freedom Fighters. There's the one where he's in the band. Yeah, like there's like 2 of them.
Okay. Yeah, so we're not watching those, but oh, that's right, because I think we said we wanted to watch Sonic Boom. So we're we're going through pretty much all the Sonic media, which is exciting. And we started it this time with Sonic with all the classic games. We played 1, 2, CD, and then 3 and Knuckles. And I guess this might be the first duo episode to go up, so I guess maybe we should explain that. We're doing things in the Weeb Club now where we're pairing off, and so me and Nun have something we're doing. Nun and like Crafts and What, like all the duo pairs in the Weeb Club have like their own series of like podcasts that they're gonna do that all kind of ties back to a central theme. Ours is the most easy to understand, I think, because it's just we're playing the Sonic games.
Yes.
So it's all one series, as opposed to like some of the other ones where it's like, oh, we're reading harem manga or shoujo manga. It's like, this is super easy to understand. We're playing Sonic.
Yeah, if you like Sonic, you can watch all the episodes. But the other ones, it's like, you might not like a specific series or something. You haven't read it or watched yet.
Right. Okay, so to start, I guess we should start with Sonic 1.
Yes.
What did you think of Sonic 1?
I definitely don't think it's as bad as people say it is. Like, yeah, when you compare it to Sonic 2, Sonic 3, or whatever, it does get worse, but it's also it's a very short game. Even with the levels kind of sort of not letting you go like super fast, I still think they're pretty short levels overall. So it was like even the worst levels weren't like that long or that hard to beat. So
yeah,
I don't really have any problems with it.
Yeah, so I played the Genesis versions for all of them, and the Genesis version of Sonic 1 doesn't really have continues. And Sonic 1 was the only game where I game overed it all.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 3 and Knuckles or 2 or CD might need continues, but I didn't have to use them in any of them because I only game overed in 1. And the only reason I game overed in 1 is because I think that what is it, Marble? What's the second zone? Is it Marble? Fuck me.
It's Marble Zone. It's just Marble Zone.
Okay, yeah, Marble Zone is, I think, the worst zone across all the games. To the point where, like, I think the reason people don't like Sonic 1 so much is because you start with Green Hill.
Yeah.
Which is good, but I do think it's a little overhyped. And then you go to Marble Zone, which is, like, so insanely terrible. But once you beat Marble Zone, I think the game is it like bottoms out to like a mid-level where it's fine the rest of the time.
Yeah.
But it's never great. Like, I think it's definitely my least favorite of the classics just because it's so, like, I don't know, like, so many of the zones are just, like, fine.
Yeah, like, I definitely would say, like, Sonic's supposed to be, you memorize, like, you learn the level you learn the level when you play again and again, and like you get better and be able to like go faster. And I haven't done that with Sonic 1, so like I couldn't say like, oh, you for sure can't do that, but I definitely do think there's a sense of there is a limit on how fast you can like complete a level for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't like.
well,
I just couldn't tell where I was supposed to like shave off time or something like that.
yeah. Well, and the later games kind of do this thing where they're like the levels are tiered, right? And the higher up you are in the level, the faster you can go, which makes sense because then if you miss a jump or you fall or you get hit, you fall down to the lower levels where it's slower and you kind of have to work your way back up to the top. And that works really well in the later games because then again, it's all about knowing the level. And like, even if you don't know the level, you can spend a little bit of time on the top and it's really fun and you're trying to react to it. And like, the problem is that like Marble Zone, you're almost being forced to work your way down and across and it's slow. And, even like I don't think Labyrinth Zone is that bad, but it's still like not great. Like it's not hard because with Labyrinth Zone, all you have to do is sit by the bubbles until they come up and you never run out of air, but it's still not like fun.
Mm-hmm. See, what I like about the later games in terms of water levels is like either you can just skip it entirely or you're under there for a very, very short amount of time.
Yeah, I definitely think that honestly, the water levels as a whole, while I was playing, I was like, these aren't that bad. Like, I could see someone having problems if they didn't kind of like. You almost have to treat it. You know, I hate when people make this comparison. I know everyone's tired of it, but you always have to treat it like Dark Souls, where like you treat the no. Let me explain. You treat the bubbles as like bonfires, and so you go bubble to bubble to bubble, and you wait at a bubble until you can get full air, and then you go to the next one. And if you're not doing that, you're going to be running out of air and you're going to be like scrambling. But if you just take your time and you're patient about it, the Labyrinth Zone isn't that bad. And then the later ones are really good.
Well, I wouldn't say really good, but they're fine.
I liked Threes a lot. I think Threes was my favorite water level.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like the other zones in Sonic 1 specifically.
No. I meant the other water zones.
Okay. What did you say was your favorite zone in Sonic 1?
It's actually not Green Hill. It's Spring Yard.
I can see that.
I think Spring Yard is like really good, and it actually kind of does the tiered thing just because a lot of the times you like fall into all the bumpers and the springs and everything. And if you get your jumps early and you like bounce off everything, you can just keep going and sail through. And then it kind of like has that, oh, you fell, now you have to work your way back up. I like the music. I like the way the zone looks.
I would say it's like the most visually appealing zone, probably off the top of my head.
Scrabbrain looks good too, but yeah, I'd probably agree.
I would say my favorite is what's the one with the, it has a lot of loops and it's like the second to last one, I think.
Star?
Yes, yeah, that one. I like that was my favorite one.
My only problem with Starlight Zone is I don't like the boss of Starlight Zone at all. I just don't like the having to deal with the fucking where you like it's like the God, I can't talk. It's the spiked balls on like the teeter-totters and you got to fucking swing them up at him. That boss just felt like it was taking me way longer than it should have. Just because, like, oh, you miss it. Now you got to fucking sit here and wait 15 seconds for him to come back
That's
around.
Fair. See, when I think of the levels, on some part, I don't really think about the bosses as part of them. So, like, I don't know. Maybe my answer would change for some of my favorite if I, like, thought about the boss. I don't know.
I normally don't, but that one, because, like, when I think of Spring Yard, it uses that like, mechanic of the teeter-totters so much that I have to think of the boss because the boss forces that mechanic too.
That's fair.
But I mean, yeah, I definitely agree with you that I think the game is over hated. That being said, like Marble Zone is terrible, and I think it's because you go from, I mean, what many would consider, I think, the best zone in the game to the worst. What I think almost everyone agrees, or no, because people are cringe about Labyrinth Zone, but what is probably the worst zone in the game, and it's such a tonal shift. And Marble Zone's so hard that I think people just like give up there, just get super tilted there. But I think
I
if
don't
you can get
know.
past Marble Zone,
I actually never found Marble Zone hard. Like, I'm not good at like classic Sonic games, I would say. Like, I did have some problems in like Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but I don't know, that level it wasn't specifically hard to me.
my problem with Sonic, and we'll talk about it when we talk about one of my favorite zones in the series, because there's one fucking part in this fucking zone that's in its original game and it's in Mania, and but I think that like normally the worst part about Sonic is, in terms of classic Sonic platforming, is he's like kind of slippery. So when you have to make a jump onto like a precise platform, I almost always miss it. Like something about his jump physics, like I'm fine normally, but when I have to like jump onto a platform, I miss it like 9 times out of 10. I miss that jump and I have to go back around. And Marble Zone had the most of that, and Marble Zone is the most punishing for missing those jumps. Because in the one we'll talk about later, you miss the jump, you just got to go back around. But in fucking Marble Zone, you miss the jump, you're in lava, you lose all your rings, or you die.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, I mean, it definitely is one of the harder ones in the series. The classic ones, at least.
I will say, I do think that Sonic 1 doesn't get enough credit for how much of the Sonic iconography it actually created. Like, not just Sonic, right? But so much of, like, Sonic's identity is in Sonic 1, like, perfectly. Like, Sonic 1 did such a good job at, like, I think what it needed to do for the series to continue, which is create a character that is recognizable, create, like, a world. Because, you know, like, Mario and its iconography and its identity are very clear, right? In some ways, I think you could argue, like, New Super Mario Bros. Is a little too much the same with all of its, like, how the world looks and everything.
Yeah.
And Sonic 1 did that. Like, it created a world. It created something that is instantly recognizable as Sonic that the rest of the games could fit into while still feeling different. And, like, that's, like, the best thing the game did, was it, like, killed it in terms of, like, creating a world, creating a character, creating a universe that everything else can spawn off of, was all done in this game. And it's better than most, 16-bit platformers, so.
See, I was thinking that too. Mainly, not really, like, in terms of Sonic 1, but, like, when I was playing the later titles, like, you can really see a lot of the DNA of what Sonic as a character and, like, the other characters stand for in general. Like,
yeah.
It makes sense why a lot of things are the way they are in Adventure. And when we get to those games, I'll talk more about it, but it's really good.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd played all the classic games in, like, one sitting, like, not one sitting, but I played them all in a week. And, like, I don't think I'd played them all in, like, that short of a time before. And it was really interesting doing it and, like, seeing how they changed from game to game, and, where I liked all of them, you know what I mean? Like, I think Sonic 1, even though I like it the least, I would much rather play Sonic 1 than almost any other random 16-bit platformers. Like, the only ones I can think of that I'd rather play are, like, the later Sonic games, any of the Donkey Kong Country games, and, like, Super Mario World, right? And, like, any other 16-bit platformer I think of is, like, and I guess Yoshi's Island. I'd much rather play Sonic 1 than, like, Bubsy or fucking, you know what I mean?
See, I'm gonna expose you, though, because before on Discord, you were saying something like, there's no reason this game should have gotten a sequel, or something like that, because it's bad, or whatever you said. You said something like that.
I look, I do think that,
which
like,
is just wrong.
I've definitely calmed down on it as time's gone on. But when I was playing it, it was so mid, and I think part of it's because, like, the game it does have these short levels, and after a point, it does get kind of easy, and so I'm just like, you're just like cruising through it, and you're like, the music's not amazing, it's good, the zones are fine. I just felt like it was so mid that I was like, how did this get it? But then after sitting on it, and then after playing the rest of the games, I'm like, yeah, okay, I understand. It was the world that was created and the character that was created were what allowed the game to get a sequel more than the actual gameplay itself, I think. But I don't know if I have much more to say just about Sonic 1.
There was something I wanted to tell you about Sonic 1, which is interesting. people know that the game used to be faster. Like Sonic used to move faster in like either a
Mhm.
pre-build or some kind of it was some kind of thing before the initial release. And for whatever reason he was slowed down. I don't know if it's like I heard that apparently beta testers didn't like that, so they slowed him down, but I couldn't find a source on that, so I'm not gonna like assume that's true. But like we do know that he was running faster before and he was slowed down for some reason. And
Mhm.
Sonic 1 has a speed cap on how fast he can go, and in the zone that you like the most, those you know how you can drop down, like you can drop straight down. I don't know if you
Yeah.
did that while you're playing, but it disables the speed cap if you do that, which is really
Interesting.
interesting.
Um,
And
yeah, I definitely think that adding the speed cap probably makes sense for that game because I think
yeah,
that
I mean with how it's
the
designed, it's
yeah if you could run faster, I think some of those zones, almost all of them, would be terrible.
like yeah, you'd be missing jumps, you'd be yeah.
Especially because like playing the games in 4x3, going way too fast can happen where you're just fucked. So it definitely is a thing where I'm glad that they slowed him down. I think that was probably something where they wanted Sonic to go really fast, and they made like Green Hill Zone for that. And then after they made the rest of the game, they're playing it. And they're like, oh, we should probably slow this guy down because he is too much right now.
And like another thing about that speed cap is it was disabled in Sonic 2 for his ground speed, but it stayed for his air speed. So like if you're running and then you jump, you'll
Uh,
slow down.
oh my god, that's what it is. That's why I have trouble with the jumps in that game because you slow down when you fucking jump. I couldn't figure. I was like, something feels so off. I'm trying to make these precise. It's because you slow down.
But see, the thing with Sonic 3 and Knuckles is it doesn't have a speed cap at all, though. So, like, do you still have
Oh
that problem in that?
no, but I also think Sonic 3 and Knuckles didn't have as many like precise jumping onto a platform sections.
That's true.
Um, like the only ones were maybe like in Flying Battery Zone, and I had no trouble with them there. So
All right, do you want to
that's
move
interesting.
on?
Yeah, do you want to go
Sonic 2?
to Sonic 2?
Yeah, we can.
All right. I mean, I think this was the best of the bunch. I don't know if you
I
agree.
agree. I agree, actually.
Um, it was a step up in literally every way.
Hmm.
Like the stages are great. I mean, I think Emerald Hill is just a better Green Hill Zone. To the point where like I don't like that Green Hill Zone is I'm so fucking tired of Green Hill Zone, dude. And like because of that, I don't want I want to see other zones as like the first zone. And I think Emerald Hill is so fucking good. I love how it looks. The fucking sound, like the song for Emerald Hill is a banger. Um Everything about it's great. And then I think every other zone in the game is good.
Yeah, the only zone that I like stands out as like I don't really like this one as much is Oil Ocean, I think it's called.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like there's a little too much waiting and like too many places where you can kind of fall down, and I don't like those like lids that like fly up and like there's a fire under them, or
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
like yeah, I don't like those. um and there's a lot of like like the like the oil slides, which like I don't know, like I feel like there's more like prevent like things preventing you
Mm-hmm.
from like running and like kind of like I
Uh,
just think it's the slowest level probably. It's not that slow, but it's like slower.
yeah, I end up liking I really like actually the sliding because I think it's so silly the way Sonic slides and Tail slides behind him and they have like this silly look on their face. Like, oh, it's so fun. I love it.
I do love it, but in that zone, I don't know if it's like too much compared to other ones that have that.
Yeah, I think I want to talk about this more in 3 and Knuckles because I think 3 and Knuckles does it. I actually think that like the one thing that 3 and Knuckles does better is like I do like that a lot of the zones have like this kind of unique thing to them, and it kind of makes it feel like each zone feel unique, right? Like I love when a zone has its gimmick, and
Mhm.
and like it has something about it that like kind of makes you feel like you're doing more than just running and jumping. Like it adds some kind of variety. There's 1 and 3 in Knuckles that I fucking love, so we'll get to it then. But like, I don't know what my least favorite zone would be. It might be a Mystic Cave, just because I'm not the biggest fan of like when you jump and grab
Mhm.
the vines. But I mean, I love Chemical Plant Zone. Even though that's what I was talking about. There's that jump where like you go and like you're running on the thing, and then that door closes and the water goes up, right? And there's like those jumps you have to make across the rotating blocks.
Mhm.
And then you go to the left and there's like that jump onto the platform that goes back and forth. And I don't know if there's another way to do the level, but every time I play it, either in Mania or in 2, I get to that jump and I always miss it at least 3 times.
I'm not entirely sure
Um,
which jump you're referring to.
uh, I don't know how to explain it. There's a jump in Chemical Plant Zone.
Mm.
And I miss it every fucking time, and it makes me so upset. But I love Chemical Plant Zone so much it doesn't matter, because I love the sound, the fucking, oh my god, I can't talk. I love the music in Chemical Plant Zone. I love how it looks. It's good.
Yeah, I definitely it's one of the best looking zones, at least like so far, like from Sonic 1 and 2. And like
Yeah,
I don't know, it really stands out in a special way, I think, when you get to it.
I think the best looking zone in the game is Casino Night, right? Like, because
I have to look at what that looks like real quick.
Yeah. Because Casino Night definitely I thought was really cool, and it was a really unique zone, and so I know why the casino stuff is like kind of stayed with Sonic, right? And there have been other like casino like things, and there was like Spinball, but I definitely feel like Casino Night kind of created the like. It's so unique and fun that I definitely understand why that became kind of like a staple of Sonic, right?
Yeah.
Because like we'll talk about it more when we get there, but like Sonic Heroes is by far the Sonic game I played the most as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so the casino shit for me is like up there with Sonic because there's a casino fucking zone in that game. But I mean, I think even outside of like the zones, the game did so much right in terms of like updating the game.
Like the 2-act structure is way better.
Yeah.
I think how long it takes you to complete a level is about perfect in 2. Like it's like I like how long it takes more than one CD and 3 and Knuckles personally.
Yeah, the timing's like right where I want it. The amount of time to beat the game, it's like 2 hours. That's perfect. It makes it super replayable. I think the game does a really good job at kind of like doing the visual storytelling where like you start off at Emerald Hill and then you're like slowly like you get kind of industrial at the beginning in Chemical Plant, but then it definitely feels like after Chemical Plant, it's very much like you're working up into the industrial like mechanical part of like what is eventually Eggman's Fortress, right? Because you go to Aquatic Ruin, you go to Aquatic Ruin, Casino Night, then like Hilltop and Mystic Cave, and then it's like Oil Ocean, Metropolis, and like Wing Fortress, right? So you're like getting more and more mechanical as you go closer and closer to Eggman.
There was also Sky Chase in between Winged Fortress.
Yeah. I didn't count that because it's like a one zone. And I was going to talk about Sky Chase later because there's I love I guess I can do it now. Because I was going to talk about Tails, but I love the way that like Sky Chase has the whole thing. It's such a cool like storytelling thing where like Tails flies you up in the tornado, and then Sonic has to jump off, and so you spend like a zone or two without Tails.
See, I didn't like. I was like for 2, I didn't pick Sonic and Tails, so like I didn't have them behind me the whole time, because I think I picked just Sonic just in case I wanted to try to do all the Chaos Emeralds, which Tails, he messes you up in the special stages because he can get hit and lose rings when you're trying to collect rings, which is like really backwards and weird. So it's like I just didn't play with him in that one. I should have though, because I didn't actually do the supersonic stuff.
I just always pick Sonic and Tails because I love them being together, and I think it was such a good. I mean, I didn't have the option, but or maybe I did. Do you have the option in the Genesis version?
To what? Not play as Sonic and Tails?
Yeah, to just play as Sonic.
I would think so, but I'm not. I don't know. I haven't played.
Honestly,
when I first played the games, I did play the Genesis version, but I don't think I ever thought about switching characters, so I didn't really notice if it had one or not.
I didn't think about, because to me, just like, especially for Sonic 2, because that's the one that introduced Tails, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's such a good, and then I played with Sonic and Tails in 3 as well, because I think it's such a good, it's so, like, it like what you were talking about how, like, you see certain parts of Sonic's DNA and what Sonic would become. I think Sonic having Tails throughout the entire game really starts to push and reinforce that, like, the friendship shit in Sonic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the entire game, Sonic has a friend with him.
See, what I would also say about that is his whole thing in Adventure as well is, like, he can be just as capable as Sonic, and he's not just a sidekick. Like, I think the classic games really do push that he's the sidekick, and
yeah.
I think the idea of Adventure being like he beats Eggman in Adventure 1 or 2. I'm a fake fan since I don't know which one he beats him.
He has boss fights against him in 2 because they have the same gameplay style.
Mm-hmm. See, like, I think that's so cool that it's like, you know, in the classic games and like Sonic Media in general, it pushes him as the sidekick. But like when they go to the 3D big adventure game, that's when he's like finally beating Eggman, because, you know, he's not just a sidekick. And, you know, in the classic games as well, he's the only person who can be like it's like Sonic and Tails are the only people who can be like paired together. Like, you can't play as Sonic and Knuckles with Knuckles running behind him, or like Tails with Sonic behind him. It's just Sonic and Tails. Like, it's just always like that, which I think is
like Tails is going at Sonic's speed. I mean, even in these games, I think there's a good use of, like, because of the Sky Chase stuff, there's a good use of, like, Sonic wouldn't be here without Tails. Like, I actually think that all the games after this, but mainly this one and 3 Knuckles, I think do a great job at, like, telling a story with the games with, like, I don't even know if I would consider most of it cutscenes, right? Like, where the storytelling is.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it has these moments that can kind of give you a feel for what the story of these games are, and you watch it play out in, like, a game that, like, you know, without any text, without anything.
Like,
and it's really good. It's, like, way better than I was thinking it was going to be.
I really wonder if, like, there were other 2D platformers doing this. Like, they very clearly have an idea of what Sonic is supposed to be as a character, and, like, what everything's supposed to mean. So it's just yeah, I wonder if other games are doing that. Like, I wouldn't think it'd be that common. Like, I would think Sonic's really unique for having it.
Yeah, well, because I've been thinking, and I mean, I haven't played every 16, and going through the ones I mentioned, I mean, Mario uses text, right? And has some cutscenes at the beginning, and then most of it's just kind of going through, but there is text in that game, like Mario World. Yoshi's Island has text, I'm pretty sure. And Donkey Kong Country has text, but a lot of those games are also, like, I feel like there aren't plot moments throughout. It's much more like, okay, this is the goal, you know, accomplish the goal. But, like, there are, like, plot points that take place mid-game in these Sonic games, right? Like, in this game, there's, you know, Tails basically gets fucking shot down, and you gotta jump off and, like, abandon Tails, and then he's gone, and then he shows up, and you're like, holy fuck, Tails is back. And then you get to continue the game with you and Tails. It's great.
Yeah.
Because you do, like, I think all of Wing Fortress, or at least Wing Fortress Zone 1 without Tails. Which I think does this, like, really fucking cool thing where, like, you play the entire game with this guy behind you, like, your friend, then all of a sudden he's just gone. And, like, it helps feel like more like you're reaching the climax of the game. It's like, now it's just Sonic alone. He's got to fucking take care of this shit. You're like, let's fucking go. And I think Tails' design just as a whole is fucking inspired. Like,
yeah, it's really good.
It's I mean, it's probably as good as Sonic's design, if I'm being honest, you know?
I would say it is, but I also would say, like, you know, in a world where Tails was the protagonist for some reason, I don't think it's, like, as, like, recognizable, I would say. Like,
I agree with that. I think that like if the games were made around Tails, it definitely wouldn't have done well,
yeah,
right?
like I feel
But
like
I
he's
do,
just like almost a little more similar to how like like an animal mascot for a, like other
mhm.
games would be.
Yeah,
Like a hedgehog is a really unique pick, and he's blue. I don't know if there's like, I mean, there's definitely some blue, like, animal
right.
mascot or something somewhere, but it was definitely a very important pick, for the Mario, like, it was Mario's rival at the time and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it no, like when I say Tails' design is good, I don't think Tails could have ever been the main character of a franchise as big as Sonic has become. But I think like for what Tails is,
Hmm.
his design is just as good as Sonic's, you know?
Yeah, it
Um
is.
and I think that like it works that Tails kind of becomes like the number 2 in Sonic. Partially because he shows up in Sonic too, but like his character design's really good, and like maybe it's just because I had him following around me the whole game, but especially for 2 and then after 3 and Knuckles, you really get this like feeling that Sonic and Tails are like friends, and like they're close.
Hmm.
And so then you take that into the other games and with everything that's been done with the 2 of them, and it works super well.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean that I think that Tails alone is like a really interesting part of the game, and then you have the fact that it added like the spin dash.
Oh yeah, it did
Um,
add the spin dash. I almost think it's kind of like, I mean, I get why they didn't think of it before, but it's like, it's almost weird that it's like they didn't like have that initially.
yeah, especially because there are a lot of loops in the first game, and there definitely are times where it's like, "Fuck, I lost my speed. Guess I got to walk back to go up and around." It definitely is something where you're like, "Why is this not here?" But then that like some people thought of something like it. We'll talk about when you get to CD. That I actually think is cooler than the spin dash. But I'll mention it now because I think this was the game where I noticed it. Something that I had never done before this playthrough of the classic Sonic games. That when I realized it's something that they expected you to do, I got way better at the games.
What was it?
I never in my life have played Sonic and thought about holding down while running to deal damage.
Oh, I mean,
Like I'd
I
always
don't
just
always
jump
do
if I
it,
needed
but
to attack something.
yeah.
And then like I was fucking around in Sonic 2 at one point, and I was like, I held down and I was like, oh shit. And like went through a box, I was like, oh my god. There are so many enemies where the way you're supposed to deal with them isn't jumping over them. If you just press down, you go right through them, and then you can keep running.
Hmm.
And so then I started using that, and that's when the life totals I got to in the later games got ridiculous. But yeah. Also, I definitely think this game has better special stages. Like, I would much rather get the special stages, I think, in 2 than in any of the other classic games.
Were two's the one, like the 3D ones where you're like chasing after the robot that has the emerald or something? Is that the
No,
special?
that's CD. 2's are the half pipes. Tony
Oh,
Hawk.
okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's, yeah. Okay, yeah, we were talking about that earlier because that's why I only picked Sonic.
Yeah. I just think they're really fun. I think they look really cool. I like going like back and forth and trying to grab all the rings. I didn't do it because my only problem with them is I forget to do them, or like if I miss one, I'm just like, I don't know if you. Anytime I try to get the except for 3 and Knuckles because you have so many opportunities. If I miss getting Supersonic, I kind of just like in one attempt. Even though there's so many attempts, right? There's 2 zones, 10 fucking, like, you have 20 places you can get it. If I miss one in like Emerald Hill, I'm like, well, that's it. I'm done. Not getting Supersonic. Not
Yeah, I
happening.
kind
I'll
of do
fuck it up.
that.
Not possible. And I give up for that playthrough.
Yeah.
Um, I should have kept trying because it's super possible, even if you miss like 1 or 2, because you have 20 options, you know? But that's just how my brain works with them. Even though I think that the special stages are really fun in this game.
Did you think they controlled well?
Yeah. I mean, I think all the games control well, but I definitely think that two's controls, like, two feels really good to play. Um,
No, I just meant the special stages.
Oh,
Unless, yeah,
they're a little slippery, but I think it works for them.
because
Um,
I know that in the Christian Whitehead port of that game, they fixed them. Like, he fixed them in some kind of way to make them control a little better and look a little
well, they're
better.
really slippery. Um, like when you go one way, if you don't like and you want to stop somewhere, if you don't hold the opposite direction, like if I'm on the right side and I'm going to the left side, if I don't hold right when I want to stop, I'll just like
Hmm.
fucking careen off to the left. So there is kind of like a little bit of like you have to like kind of go back and forth and hold each way to control the slipperiness, but I think it works for it. I think it would be too ezy without that.
See,
Um,
I was playing the Whitehead version, so I didn't really have that.
mhm.
Um, I
Yeah.
don't think it was like super necessary for me to like. I have to play the Genesis version. Like, I don't think we have to like play the original
No.
version for this because it's like, um, nowadays you can get your hands on like it just doesn't really matter anymore to play the original versions if you
The
have the option to play the better versions.
the only reason I played the Genesis versions is because I have the Sega Genesis collection on Steam. I picked it up during Sega's 60th
Hmm.
anniversary, and it had 1, 2, and 3 in Knuckles. And so I already owned the Genesis versions. Um, so I played those. But I mean, when I played CD, I played the Christian Whitehead version because it was the one that's right there. And then the reason I didn't play Sonic 3 Air is because I was like, well, I play the Genesis versions of 1 and 2. I might as well play the Genesis version of 3 and Knuckles as well. Like at that point, I felt like,
Sure.
I'd already gone that far. Might as well.
I was playing the Whitehead versions for 1, 2 CD, and I played Air for 3 and Knuckles. I made sure in
Mm-hmm.
every game I played to have the settings be accurate. Like, um,
Right.
in CD you could have played with the newer spin dash, but I didn't. Um, in Air, there's like it has the option to order the stages like a slightly differently because I forget why it does that because there's some kind of like it's originally like this, so like it's like an original intention of the design. Like,
Right. Because
originally the stages were ordered this way, but later they changed it. But now I could
mm-hmm.
play the original intention or like how it ended up being released, which I just played how it was released.
Yeah. And we'll get to, because I understand exactly how that is in 3 Knuckles, and we'll get to it, but I actually really like how it is in the eventual release of the game. Yeah, I mean, I think that 2 is just really good. Like, I was surprised at how much I enjoyed 2, because it had been so long since I played him, and, I think the prevailing sentiment is that 3 Knuckles is the best one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what you always hear is like, oh yeah, 3's the best one. 3 Knuckles is the best
See,
one.
I think how it goes is like 2 like overall out of everyone is probably the most popular just because it's like the most popular with the like casual Sonic people,
Mm-hmm.
but like the actual people who matter basically think 3 and Knuckles is better.
Yeah, like all the people who play a lot of games and play a lot of Sonic, it feels like all say 3 and Knuckles. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't
I
know.
just
I
don't think
feel
it's
like
hard better.
I just think 2 is just such a like tight, perfect game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I have like almost no real issues with Sonic 2. Everything it does, I think it fucking knocks out of the park. I think that it does a lot. Actually, this was the other thing I was gonna say about the game, and this goes for the rest of them. But the sprite work in 2 for Sonic is so good.
Yeah.
There's so much personality in Sonic's animations throughout the game. Not even just like the basic ones, but like we mentioned the sliding and like the face that him and Tails make and all these other little moments. There's so much good sprite work across all the games, but 2 and then 3 and Knuckles I think are the 2 best ones of this. Like so much good sprite work and like giving Sonic this personality past just what you see on the box art and the fact that he taps his foot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like really good stuff. I really like it.
What do you think is the best sprite from? I sent a picture, so you can just look at it here.
Oh, it's his 2-1.
Yeah, I would probably say it's
It
2-1 as well.
his 3 one is a little weird because like he looks like 3 definitely changed the art style a little bit. He look okay. This is actually really interesting because now I can tell that the 3D Sonic was created off of Sonic 2's design, but the classic Sonic you see in like Generations is Sonic 3.
Wait,
right? Like with the bigger head and the wider eyes. Like Sonic 3 looks like classic Sonic in Generations. But Sonic 2 looks much closer to like Boost Sonic and like modern Sonic's design.
I don't know. I'd actually reverse that maybe. I don't know.
Really?
Cause like his spikes look more pronounced and kind of longer-ish. Like how like in 3 his spikes look how more like adventure and like I don't know. I feel like you had that reversed. Like I just feel like his general head shape seems more
off of
modern.
Head shape and head size. And you know what the other thing is? The pudgy belly. I mean, he's kind of got like a pudgy belly in 3. It looks like, and that's what he has in classic Sonic's design.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, since we're not gonna get to that for a while, though, classic Sonic's fucking design in like Generations and in Forces kind of sucks. Honestly, it's not that good.
Classic Sonic's gameplay in Generations and Forces kind of fucking sucks. I'm really excited to play. I was thinking about this while I was playing 2. I'm really excited to play both Generations and Mania after playing everything before it. Because it'll be so cool going to Generations and seeing all these fucking zones from the games before it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll really enhance the Generations as like a celebration of Sonic when we go through everything before it. Will be really cool. All right, so do we want to talk about CD now?
I mean, one last thing, I guess. Tails, like he was created for the versus mode in 2. Like that's why they got an idea to add him, which I don't know if you'd find that interesting or not, but that's why he was created.
I think it is. I mean, we'll talk about it as well, I guess, with 3 Knuckles, but I think that there's always something interesting that you can have where like they created Tails for the versus mode, but then like as you meant, like they worked him into the story and then he got worked into Sonic's like mythos as a whole and becomes like this super important great character out of originally being we need a versus mode character.
I also like how his design, his shoes are red like Sonic's. I like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a neat touch. It gives him some like similarity, it's good.
And like I remember, like I've seen like on Twitter, like some people like it's not like a big group of people. It's like a small minority amount of people who think. It'd be neater if Tails' shoes are blue, so it's different from Sonic, but it also, like, it's blue like how Sonic is blue, but, like, I don't know, I kind of think it's better that he's, like, wearing the exact shoes that Sonic does.
Yeah, it's like, it helps enforce the, you could, I think you could look at it 2 ways, right? One is that, like, Tails looks up to Sonic and wears the same shoes, or the more is that, like, they're friends. They
yeah.
They wear the same shoes. They're homies. It works. I think it's actually, like, really good. Like, I really like it.
All right, we can move on to CD now.
All right, cool. Let's go.
What did you think about Sonic CD?
We're gonna disagree on this one. I know for a fact. I think you know it too. I don't think CD's bad. Okay, it's a good game. It's better than 1. But I definitely think that 2 and I think 2 and 3 and Knuckles are just like a step above in terms of like how much I enjoyed the game and the quality. And I think a lot of that comes down to I am not a fan of CD's gimmick.
The time travel.
The time travel to get the true ending. I think it's a really, really cool idea. Don't get me wrong. The way it plays out in the game, I'm not a fan of. And I also don't, there's only one zone in the game I really like. So.
Before I talk about my take on CD, one interesting thing is because Sonic 2 and CD were developed at the same time, the time travel idea was actually for Sonic 2, but they dropped it, and then I don't know why exactly CD ended up taking it, but it was originally for Sonic 2, like the time travel stuff.
Okay. That's interesting. I do think the development and the way that like there was one group, because I mean, okay, fuck, what's his name? What's the creator of Sonic's name?
Naoto Shima, I think. Am I fucking?
Is that it?
I don't want to
I'm
be
looking it
like
up. Who
Captain
created
for some
Sonic?
reason.
It's yeah, Naoto Oshima. Oh, I'm thinking of Yuji Naka.
Oh, fucking retarded. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm so bad that we couldn't remember Yuji Naka as so claimed Sonic fans. Yuji Naka, because Yuji Naka was working on what became 2, right? With the LA studio or the American studio,
yeah,
and
the
CD
American
was being worked on in Japan.
Well, actually, let me look that one up as well. Let me just make sure.
Here, I'm on the wiki. Let me see. After the release of Sonic the Hedgehog, lead programmer Yuji Naka had grown dissatisfied with the rigid corporate policies.
I think he
moved
was
to the
with
United
the
States
American.
to work with the Sega. Yeah, so
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense
to work
because
with the Sega Technical Institute, and a large part of the original design team for the first Sonic,
went over to America.
And so because it had half of Sonic Team and the two most important people, the U.S. group made Sonic 2, and CD was handled by a separate development team.
Well, Yuji Naka and Naoto
Oshima was a part
Oshima.
of.
Yeah. Naoto went to the CD. Okay.
Yeah.
And it also makes sense that CD is the Japanese one because it has the like Toei intro and like songs that have lyrics in it and stuff like that. Like it just has like what would be the Japanese game.
It definitely feels, because I think Sonic, and you mentioned it when we were talking about the soundtrack, that like it's weird that like before recording this, like it's weird that they changed the soundtrack and things to fit in an American audience when like Sonic kind of always was made for an American audience.
Yeah, like his design in general is like, we want this to appeal to Americans as well. Like it's one of the most like things I've heard have that intention of Americans.
And I think that appealing to Americans is super obvious across all the games, even just like the way the zones are, right? Because like I think about this all the time. There's so much shit in Mario, right? That is like so, and in a lot of Nintendo games, that is like so Japanese, but like as a kid you don't recognize it, right? Because like as a kid we didn't know anything about Japanese culture or anything, so like we didn't recognize like the Tanuki suit or all these other like iconic things throughout like Mario and all these other like Nintendo games. There's so much like Japanese DNA and like you know what I mean in it, that I think you just kind of gloss over, and then you have Sonic, which is like, it has a lot less of that, I think, in terms of like the structure and the iconography and the aesthetic, and that makes sense because it's being made for an American audience,
like the zones aren't like strictly like it's like how I don't know the best word to put it. It's just like it doesn't specifically look like any place in the it's general, I guess. Like it's not...
like it's very generic, and like it could be anywhere on Earth that the zones are.
Well, I wouldn't use the word generic because that gives off the
not generic, but very non specific in terms of like a location, I guess.
The one place I would say could seem like, I guess, more American. I don't know. Like casinos, is that like a Japanese thing? I wouldn't think so. I don't know.
I mean, they have like pachinko, but Casino Night definitely seems very like Vegas, like Atlantic City inspired.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean that one makes a lot of sense, but no, I mean I think it does a really, and it makes sense also why like that Sonic has had two different comic runs, right? It's had Archie Comics and the IDW comics. And there hasn't, as far as I know, there hasn't been like a super popular like Sonic manga, right? Am I wrong on that?
No, you're not.
I could be. Okay.
I'm not gonna say Sonic's not like popular in Japan because he is, but
no, yeah, I don't want to say that either.
He's always just kind of had this like different pull in terms of like America. Like he's just like, I don't know. There's something. He just caught on more here for some reason.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, that's not to say there isn't Sonic media. You know what I mean? Like there's Sonic X, which we'll watch. You know, that's an anime, but
There
it
was also
definitely
the
does
Sonic OVA.
Yeah,
Even if it wasn't
and
like a full series or anything.
And you know, there's you know, I think that you could argue that, you know, especially for adventure and a little bit after that, when it does start doing you know, the 3D games with more story and cutscenes, it does kind of get a little bit more of like a Japanese makeup to it. But that's just because you know, it is a game made by Japanese people. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a bad thing. I just think that, like, it is interesting that Sonic was created for an American studio or for an American audience, and then that audience or that team, most of what, you know, would make the later games, moved to the US, except for the team making CD was the team that was still in Japan. And I think that the difference in the culture around them kind of shows with the way the games turned out. Because I mean, they almost went in like different directions, right? Because CDs, it feels very much like about exploring the levels while you're in them, you know?
Yes.
Like, you don't kind of just like you shouldn't just run to the end of CD, right? You gotta explore it. You gotta find the machines. You gotta destroy them. And then 2 and the other ones just are like, go to the end of the stage, get there.
See, and the thing I like about CD over like 3 and Knuckles is I feel like what the game is trying to do warrants how long the stages are. Like, I feel like Sonic 3 and Knuckles, like, at least for me, maybe I'm bad, but like, my average completion of a level was 5 minutes, not including the boss. Like, it was 5-ish minutes, which is like, it was kind of fucking long as shit to
I timed out multiple times in Sonic 3.
Yeah, it's so fucking long. But like,
I legitimately had multiple times where I hit 10 minutes and died due to time.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who had like the time. Like, it's just fucking long as shit. Whereas like, I think Sonic 2 and CD are like, for their like what they were respectively trying to do, they do well in their own ways. Like, Sonic 2 is like very streamlined, where CD you can, like, if you decide not to do the time stuff, you'll still beat the level in like 3 minutes or so, I would say.
Yeah, the levels, if you just run to the end of the stage, the game is easy, and there's that. Maybe that's, I mean, I didn't just run to the end of the stage. I would try to time travel in every stage. But I made the decision. I was like, I am not exploring these stages for the true ending. That is not, I'm probably going to enjoy the game less if I do that.
See, I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to take too long, and I also, you know, I didn't, like, it was partially that too. Like, I didn't want to like not enjoy the game, but like, it is a game I could see myself going back to and kind of trying to do that, because I think Sonic CD has the best reason to explore the levels compared to all the other classic games, because it's like, you definitely do feel the sense of like you're letting down the planet Sonic is on by like rushing past everything and not like going back to solve the actual problem.
The bad ending makes you feel like a fucking ape. Like, it makes you feel bad.
Yeah,
like, you get the bad ending of the game. It's like, fuck you, you piece of shit. You didn't even try. And you're like, I'm sorry.
Like, I really like that kind of sort of like. I just, like, you know, I do wish that finding the time thing, like the time machines, wasn't like you have to do it in every stage. Because like, if you just had to do it for one stage in each, like, you don't have, like, you have 2 chances in each zone to do it, I would say would be better, instead of having to do it 2 times in every zone. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, I definitely think that, like, there's a, because it's so much, right? It's, you have to do it, you know, there's so much you have to find that, like, it becomes something where it's like, I don't want to go around and do this, when I feel like there's other ways that it could have gone about it that I would have been way more into doing it. Yeah, like, if it was like, you know, one of them in his own, or even like, I would be way more excited about going and doing it. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I definitely agree with you there in terms of like being not super excited and into it, but I think it ended up being it's fine. I mean, even just running through the game, it's still fun, you know? The
Hmm.
game's a good time. It just
Like I still
I
think it
didn't
like
enjoy it as
has
much.
a decent length. Like again, it has a decent length on how long it takes if you just go through it. Um,
Mhm.
I also really like. I just like I do think the idea of the time travel and like how it's done, like in terms of like actually completing it and doing everything. Yeah, it's kind of like a pain, but I do think for what the game is trying to say, it's really well done actually because
Oh yeah.
you know
The idea is super cool.
you can like again like if you just run through and ignore it, you'll fail and um like Sonic as a character is kind of like part of his thing is like moving forward kind of sort of and like
Yeah.
um but in this game it's like he has the power to save everyone and like solve the problem of the world by going back and dealing with these.
Mhm.
So it just kind of like I don't know, I think it has a really good idea on how
I would love to see them do this idea again. In like a 3D game with like cutscenes and a story and like maybe like handle the mechanic a little bit better. I would still like it to be closer to this than like the way that like a Boost Sonic game kind of would probably do it, where it's just a bunch of linear stages, you know? Like I would like
mhm,
to have to time travel and have some kind of a bearing over how I'm doing it. But I definitely think that like taking the idea from CD, because yeah, like there's like a character arc you could put with Sonic there where like he has to kind of slow down and realize that like he can't just run to Eggman. Like he has like things that only he can do to save everyone. You know what I
yes.
mean? And I think that like yeah, there's a really interesting thing there, and you could even say that like as the player, maybe we are Sonic and we can just run through, but we have the power to stop and go back and save everything,
Yeah.
right? And we are Sonic at this moment. We're like, that's fucking boring. I don't want to do that, right? But we need to go back and stop and save everything. And maybe if we do that, we'll really like the game. But
Like
maybe I'm looking too much into it.
um like yeah, the other games it's like, they do have reasons to explore for like Super and like technically Eggman does collect all the emeralds like if you
Mhm.
don't do that. Like you beat him but he'll taunt you at the end and would like try again with
Right.
all the emeralds. So like, technically you could see him as winning, but it's like I mean, you still beat like I don't know. It doesn't feel as bad as when you do it in
Yeah, like
CD.
you still beat his ass. I think actually again, I think 3 and Knuckles does a really good job at that. Because did you watch both endings, or I mean we'll get there, but I think 3 and Knuckles, the way it handles the bad ending
Hmm.
is really good as well actually.
One thing I want you to look at is the Sonic CD Japanese box art because it has a little like
Oh, let
English
me read
thing right
this.
there. It's so
Okay, wait.
cool. I'll read
To
it
live a
out
life of
loud.
power, you must. Okay.
To live a life of power, you must have faith in what you believe is right, even if others tell you you're wrong. The first thing you must do to live a life of power is to find courage. You must be ready to reach beyond the boundaries of time itself. And to do that, all you need to do is take the first step. All you need is the will to
See,
take the first step.
like okay, man. And with like Sonic's expression on the box art against the first time Metal Sonic showed up, this game,
Yes.
like, oh my god, I almost wish that they had saved this like idea for when they had like a game that they could tell like you know what I mean? Like, I know we've talked about like, oh, there were stories in the past games, but like, imagine like a game that like it like the entire point is that like Sonic is being like his normal cocky self, right? And
Mhm.
then all of a sudden, Amy gets stolen, and Metal Sonic's there, and he's never seen Metal Sonic before, and now he's got to like handle all this shit, and it's got to get way serious. He's got time travel and realize like the power that only he can do, and then like look at how serious he is. Like he gets serious to fight Metal. Imagine how fucking good a game that like really did that could have been. Holy fuck.
See, it's like I think CD is so interesting and cool because it's like with the you do need to go to the past to, you know, solve everything, but like you can also go to the future and see how messed up everything is, and how, you know, this is what's gonna happen if you you ignore that.
And then you can see the good future that you've created
Yes.
by fixing everything. Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I think the ideas in CD are really cool. The thing that kills it all for me is the way you have to do it.
Yeah. Wait, I wouldn't say people have to like that, but I don't think it's bad. Like, I don't think it's draining to play, or like
Right.
hard to play. Like, again, you can beat the stages in a decent amount of time, and like 3 and Knuckles, it's too long, and even CD isn't that long.
I think 3 and Knuckles, the whole game took me like 4 hours to play through, like start to finish. Which, I mean, you could say, oh, well, it's 2 games. Yeah, but I think 4 hours in one sitting for a classic Sonic game is kind of a lot. Like that's a lot of Sonic all at once. And this game is a lot shorter. I think this game took me a little bit less than 2 did, but that makes sense because I didn't get the true ending, right? I imagine going to get the true ending is probably, you know, it'd probably take me a little bit longer than 2, but like, you know, that's a good amount of time. You know, that's like about what I'd want to spend. So, you know, you've really turned me around on CD over here, motherfucker.
It's so cool. Like I can't hate on it or anything, because it's just like I like it, and like I have to play the game again to see how really frustrating it is to try to do the true ending, because you know, again, I didn't want to take too long playing it, and I didn't know how long that would take, and I would have to like, if like, I hate that when you get to the goal, you can't go back. Like, once you get close enough, it won't let you go back, which is fucking annoying as shit. And so I have to restart the thing. And like, I would definitely say for non-Whitehead versions of that game, where you have to like, I don't know, like, would you have to start the entire game over, or would you have to start like both the it doesn't have a save, so you would have to like it's just too much for like other versions of the game to do that. But like the Whitehead version, I could just start over that one specific stage, which
right,
you know, definitely, like, it would be fucking impossible if I was doing this like legitimately, but
right.
I do think it's possible with the Whitehead version, and I do want to see what it's like to do that. I wouldn't like do it all in one sitting, because I don't think it's suited for that, but
yeah, it would definitely have to be like I do a couple zones at a time and come back. Just because I think I would probably get tired of the constant like I don't even know, like I'd get tired of the exploring every stage like fully. You know what I mean? I'd probably have to do like a zone at a time.
Yeah, like you definitely have to slow down with the game, like how it like kind of is with its mechanics, kind of sort of.
Yeah.
I also think, you know, Metal in general is really cool.
Yeah,
I like that you race him.
I do like that you race him, even if I do not like that boss fight. I think that
it's
the boss
bad.
actually, okay,
I mean,
I take that back.
But,
it took me way longer than I care to admit to say that I it took me a long time to understand the tell to the boss. He makes a sound when he's about to do his like dash move from behind you.
Mm-hmm.
If you jump for that, you're fine. The only other problem is the way it places those spikes directly in front of you.
It
you constantly run into and slow down. And then it does it before like a ramp, so then you hit that, and then you have to fucking spin dash over the ramp, and then Eggman's right behind you and he kills you. It's not great, but I do like that it's a right. And I mean, I think that, you know, other Sonic games later handled the Metal Sonic shit better, but it's super cool. You race him. It's like a really cool, like, Eggman tried to make this machine to be you, but Sonic beats him at you know, Sonic's game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, there's so much cool shit, right? Like, that's in it. I think introducing Amy as well is like a great extra addition to the Sonic, you know, I guess like mythos or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, all the games I feel like have introduced things that have stuck with Sonic that are all really good.
I also would say this game started the whole idea of like telling a story, and what it means through its music, since the music has lyrics, and it's like,
Mhm.
one of them is like believe in yourself, and it's like you got to keep moving, like that's one of the lyrics in the song, um, is
Yeah.
telling you to believe in yourself. I can't remember all the lyrics off the top of my head, but it's really good, and I
Yeah,
think
I think that um
once Sonic went 3D, it took that even further.
oh, definitely. I mean, so yeah, some of the fucking I mean, we'll get to some of the tracks. I think that thinking about it, the game we'll probably talk the most about it will be Adventure 2. Um Mainly cuz of Live and Learn, but I mean, there's so many fucking good songs in that game. Um yeah, I mean, I think that it's interesting watching Sonic's DNA kind of be created
Hmm.
through these games. Because there
I
really is so much. Like when you take these 4 games,
mhm.
it is so obvious how Sonic became what it did because these 4 games laid a groundwork for them to move forwards
Yeah,
with.
they already had an idea of what they wanted him to be.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, Metal Sonic is so much better than the other like Sonic things in like Sonic 1 and 2.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
Like, and I'm
The
glad that he stuck with Sonic instead of like going with those, because even in 3 and Knuckles they have like a hybrid of the two, of Metal Sonic and how he was in 1, where it's like it takes the blue and kind of some of the, like, I think the red eyes, and combines it with
mhm.
the thing in 1. But I'm just glad they just ended up taking Metal Sonic, because he's way better than like all of those.
Yeah, definitely is. I think Metal Sonic is like really fucking good, and yeah, that like kind of robot Sonic that's in 2 is like terrible. Um.
Yeah.
So, uh, yeah. I mean,
I mean,
it's
I
good.
would
I
say it's
mean,
like terrible in comparison. Like, I'm sure if Metal Sonic didn't exist, like those ones would still be pretty neat. But
yeah, but I mean, and part of the problem is we're looking at it from a like a modern lens. So I see like this like robot Sonic. I'm like that's just shitty Metal Sonic.
yeah.
So it's one of those things where I definitely think that it's like the game has a bunch of good ideas and a bunch of good things, and I do like the way a lot of the zones look. I mean, I love Stardust Speedway, even though I don't like the boss of it. I love Stardust Speedway. Um,
Mhm.
so one thing I don't like about the game though is, if I'm being honest,
What?
I hate how large the font and the text and shit that introduces the zone is. Like the way it's done in this game, it's such a small thing, but the way that it looks in this game, honestly, I can't stand it.
I mean, no comment, because I didn't really pay attention to that like that. Like, I mean, I didn't really. It's fine, I guess. I don't know.
I just like it so much in like Sonic 1 and 2 and all the other games that like in this game, like here, I'll post a screenshot of it. Here, I'll do Stardust Speedways. I don't like the way it looks when it like covers up the screen and it's so long, and it's got like this weird 3 next to it, even though it's not Act 1 of the zone or Act 3 of the zone. It has like these 3 lines that confuse me. I just don't like it at all. Fuck it.
Oh, did you
It's like the worst
also
part of
did
the
you
game for me.
notice that CD is the only game to like it has SS, like it has the same letter, like it has the letters be the same
Mm-hmm.
on the two name, like the I don't know how to say it. You know what I
Yeah, it
mean?
has like the alliteration in the titles. Yeah, because it's Palm Tree Panic, Collision Chaos, Tidal Tempest, Quartz Quadrant, Wacky Workbench, and Metallic Madness.
Yeah, I think it's neat. I think
That is cool.
the
I like
names are
that
all
naming
nice.
convention. Um, I think it's good, and I like that it's here. But
Did you get
all
to
right,
gush
our
about Peel Out enough? I don't think you did.
oh my god, I didn't talk about the Super Peel Out. All right, look, the Super Peel Out is just a better version of the Spin Dash. Like, I actually wish that it was in the games instead of the Spin Dash because it's so fucking cool. I love doing it. Um, I didn't turn off actually the
The normal spin
like I
dash.
didn't yeah, I didn't turn off the Spin Dash, but I knew that if you do up and A, it goes. Um, And I did it like every time instead of spin dash. I actually think it's so cool. I love that it feels more like Sonic. Like instead of spinning, like getting down and spinning, he's like fucking revving his feet, and so like you get to kind of see his feet go in like a circle.
And Sonic showing off, like him just being in a ball is like, I don't know. It's the peel out's definitely like better for Sonic, I would say.
It feels more Sonic to watch him stand there and kind of rev up his feet, and then he goes, and it feels faster too because you get to watch like you see Sonic go through like his run cycle.
Actually.
Oh, it might be faster.
Yeah, it is faster, but you know, like the thing with like the peel out versus the spin dash is guaranteed protection, while the peel out isn't.
Right.
Even though you can with the peel out, you can like hold down to make him go into spin dash if you need it in some kind of situation.
And I think that's kind of what I like about it so much is that like it also is dangerous. You know, you can't just do it in front of an enemy, right? You have to kind of know what, like, you have to think about it a little bit more. And you know, you can kind of do it any place you can stand still instead of like, oh, I have to, like, if I'm on a slope, you can kind of do it on the slope instead of having to like, okay, now I have to go to the bottom. Like, it's just great. I really like it.
I'm not entirely 100% sure on this one, but I think that 2 had the idea of the spin dash first, and Sonic CD ended up just putting it in later, but it wasn't like in the game originally. That I'm not entirely sure about that one, but the spin dash in CD, like the original version of it, like it's kind of shit because it's like, you know, the original thing was just to have the peel out.
All right, I don't know if I have much more to say about CD.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the last thing I'll say is like, the whole like idea of like, nature and, you know, Eggman messing things up is like, I would say it's done best in CD, even if like, you know, the time travel thing is like not the best. And I would also, one thing I want to point out is, in Sonic 1, he was using animals to power his machines, but in this game, what I've interpreted as is like he's using the life of the planet itself in the machines.
Yeah,
and that's
which is why
they
destroyed them, turn into flowers. Right?
Yeah. I heard someone else like say something about like, oh, and now he's going in like he's like using plants instead of animals. I didn't know he was like environmental friendly or something. I don't know. It said something weird, which was like, no, that's obviously not what it's supposed to be. Like, it's not that he's even being nicer.
Even saying like environmental friendly, I was going to talk about this at the end, but like, it's interesting to me how like I think that like you could call a major theme of these Sonic games environmentalism, right? I mean, like, you're an animals rescuing other animals and stopping a guy with a lot of mechanics who's trying to destroy the planet, right? Like environmentalism is like a major part of these early Sonic games.
And like the good thing about like
I just think is interesting.
CD is like the good features. It's not like it doesn't get rid of technology entirely, but it's like, you know, nature and I don't know what the word nature and whatever is living in harmony. I don't know why I can't think of the word to say.
No, I think that's the best way to phrase it, right? Is they're together, they're able to coexist without harming each other, but it's that Eggman's trying to use it for like bad things, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really cool actually. And I mean that's something, you know, that continues throughout the entire series from all these games, but
yeah. I would even say Sonic CD, you could see a lot of its what it put like more so than like maybe even 2. No, okay, I won't say more than 2, but I don't know. It's good. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of turned me around. I definitely think the game has a lot of merit. Even if I'll still say I don't like the way the mechanic is handled. I think it's got a lot of merit and a lot of really interesting ideas that could be handled really, really well and really interestingly. And if they revisited the idea from CD.
All right. The false
next is 3 and Knuckles.
Best game. The false best classic Sonic game. It's not the best. I'm so certain on this one.
I definitely agree it's not the best. but I think that there's a lot of things that the game does that are better
Than the other games.
than the other games. Yeah, like the things that I think Sonic 3 and Knuckles does well. It in those ways it does blow the other games out of the water. But I agree that as a whole game, I think 2 is just better. One of the things the game does.
Oh, go ahead.
Here you go.
No, you can.
I was just gonna say. I mean, it introduces Knuckles.
Knuckles. Sonic 3 Knuckles.
And I love the story with Knuckles. Actually, I love the way that you see him kind of the entire game, and he's taunting you, and he's doing all this shit to fuck with you, and then you finally get to where he is, and you watch Eggman screw him over. And then you kind of see a cutscene of him going crazy and Sonic and Tails going to help him. And then, he's on your side after that, right? It does this really, again, really cool storytelling and has I think if you want to talk about a game with mid-game plot points, right?
I would say this one feels like those things are more like cutscenes, I would say. But
yeah, definitely. I mean, because there's a bunch of them, right? You get to Eggman and and him and Knuckles kind of reset you, which is very clearly right where 3 ended and then Knuckles was. And so when they combined, it kind of gives this almost full, story that I actually really like, because it's they get to him, but they're not working with Knuckles, so they fail because they Knuckles isn't their friend and they haven't,
oh, that's really cool.
Friendship Knuckles. And then they go down, and then they go, and then they help Knuckles when Knuckles is at his worst part. Knuckles at his worst moment. They help him out. Now they're friends with Knuckles, and then they go beat Eggman's ass.
I also like when he punches down the door, and then he motions them to come with him with his hand. It's so cool.
Yeah. The game does a bunch of that really cool storytelling stuff. It's really good. How I mentioned how you feel about Tails and stuff, you get that feeling with Knuckles in this game. And I think what the adventure games do that's so well is that Knuckles is their friend and is their homie, but is still he's still different, right? He's from this island, he's kind of an outsider, but he's still their friend and he'll help him if need be,
Yeah. One thing I would say about this game is it's super apparent that it combines 2 and CD together.
Yeah.
With the fucking massive levels, and also kind of how how 2 handles being able to go fast. It's both of them together, which I actually don't think makes the best combination.
I definitely think there are some times where it's it would have been better if they had kind of just picked to go because it's very clear that they're going more towards 2, and I definitely think if they had gone farther into that, it would have been better.
Yeah. I get that this game is clearly trying to be big and expansive. There's 14 zones, which is more than any other game when you have Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It's it's all these cutscenes. It's just a big game, and you can tell there's a lot of ambition with what they're doing here.
It feels like it's trying, and maybe it's because now we know it was a trilogy, but it does feel like it's trying to end a trilogy, especially if you get Supersonic and you do Doomsday Zone. It feels like it's trying to end everything, right? It's trying to end this trilogy and because when 3 Knuckles came out, the Genesis was on its dying legs, right? So they had to have known it was the last Genesis game as they were making it.
Yeah, and people I think it was also closer to when people might have wanted 3D games. I'm not entirely sure though. But
yeah, 3D Blast out before 3 Knuckles. I'm looking this up.
I think so.
Sonic 3D Blast came out in 1996. Sonic 3 and Knuckles came out 1994. So
after, yeah. Oh wait,
yeah.
No.
3 Knuckles came out in 94 and 3D Blast came out in 96. Huh. But I mean, the Sega Saturn I think was already out by 94. If not, it was coming out in a year. Let me look. Sega Saturn. The Sega Saturn released in Japan. It released in 1994. So I mean, they knew that it was going to be the last Genesis like main Sonic game, right? Because the Saturn was coming out. And so I think because of that, like, it does this really interesting thing where it's like trying to cap off the trilogy. You know, it has the most climactic battle versus Eggman. It has the most story. Yeah, it's the biggest game, and I think that in that way, it makes it really cool to play last. But also, I think the scope of the game does kind of go against it in some ways because it feels too big at times.
Yeah, like it feels like, you know, again, it feels like they just took CD and 2 and put them together without like, I'm not gonna say they didn't consider what they were doing, but
Right.
I think that was the wrong decision because I think CD and 2 are like a split road of like, this is the like, CD feels more like the sequel to how Sonic, like, it feels more like a sequel to Sonic 1 and like making 1 actually work with how 1 was doing it, whereas 2 is more like, this is how Sonic was meant to be. Like, this is what Yuji Naka wanted Sonic to be like with how fast he was. And Yuji Naka's intention with making Sonic, beyond just being Mario's rival, was he wanted to make... He just wanted to make a game where you could go faster and complete things faster. And, like,
right.
He really wanted to push how, like, push further than how Mario was in his eyes. So I view 2 as being that, while CD feels more like it's how you would make Sonic 1 better, and CD isn't like the top of a line of like how you would do exploration in a classic game, but it's like,
yeah,
it's a different direction to where it's like closer to how you would do that, and like, I just don't think they're both paths that are meant to be combined, I guess.
Yeah, I think the way you phrased it, of like, CD is a continuation on 1, and 2 is a continuation on what 1 was wanting to be.
Mm-hmm.
That like that's it, right? And 3 and Knuckles kind of tries to combine them. I do think, like, you know, 3 and Knuckles doesn't have like the exploration, but it does have fucking massive levels.
Yeah,
and not even massive in terms of like tiered. They take so long to get through.
Yeah, like, for me, it's like the minimum is 5 if you're not like, if you don't mess up at all, and like you're basically like doing it, and that's not including the bosses again. Like, every what the fuck stage has a boss.
Oh
It's
my
kind
God,
of annoying, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I definitely agree that it's not great. Especially considering then, like, on top of that, it's like fucking I have never in my life timed out in a Sonic game. And I timed out twice in 3 and Knuckles. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like, I almost feel like like 3 and Knuckles, there's more of a chance you could get turned around when we were going. Like, it doesn't happen like too much, but it is possible, whereas like none of the other games have that problem, I would say, where you could get turned around and go the wrong way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I definitely think that it has issues. That being said, I mentioned it earlier. I fucking love some of the like individual like cool things that happen in the game, like that are level specific.
Mm-hmm.
I love the snowboarding for one.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
And then where is it? Is it Sandopolis that you do it? Yeah, it is. I love the rappelling you do in Sandopolis.
Wait, what?
Where you like get on the like
the gem thing?
No, when you get on like the lines and you like press like A and you start like rappelling down like the side of the cliff.
Grappling? Wait, no, is it grappling or no? You're probably right. Actually,
I think it's rappelling because you're going like down. Whatever it is, it's fucking cool. I actually really like it. And I think it's part of what's cool about it is you get to see more of great sprite work and Sonic doing all these different things, you know, instead of just running. Like, we see him snowboarding, we see him rappelling down the side of a mountain. You know, I'm sure there's other things like that I'm forgetting right now, but you know, I think that And then there's like even the in Mushroom Hill there's like the weird like pulley things where you go on them and you go like down and up and down and up. That being said, some of them I didn't know how to control, and the reason one of my timeouts was in fucking Carnival Night Zone.
Oh,
you know how there's like
hate those. Oh my god.
The spinny things that you have to press down and up on the D-pad. I didn't know that was how you did it, because when you know how when you jump it goes down, right?
Yes.
I thought you had to like perfectly time your jumps to keep pushing it down. And I timed out in one area because like you're on one and you can't go forwards until you move it down. And I literally was jumping for 10 minutes. I was like jumping up and down on this thing. Like, why the fuck won't it work? And eventually I had to Google it. Like, my dumbass couldn't figure it out. So I went to Google. I was like, how the fuck do you get past these like cylinders?
I've heard a lot of people gotten stuck there.
Carnival Night. And it's like, you go up and down. And I'm like, great. Wish I had known that from the fucking beginning. Because the game doesn't fucking tell you. And I thought it was obvious you jump.
I timed out there too because I didn't remember how to do them. And even when I knew the up and down thing, I didn't really like. There was one of them where you have to up and down, and like you have to get off of it. And while it's like up in the air, that's when you like go past it. Instead, I kept trying to push it down farther enough where I could like walk off of it, which was my timeout. Because I didn't remember that. It was really annoying. Like I just think Sonic 3 and Knuckles is more annoying than 2 is.
Definitely is more annoying. And you know what the worst part is though about it all is that like it's annoying and it's kind of bullshit, but outside of the annoying moments, the game's easy as fuck. I had 30 lives. Do I have my screenshot of it? I legitimately had 30 lives at one point in this fucking game.
I never gotten a bunch of lives in any of them actually, because I mean, like I wouldn't say I'm, again, I don't think I'm good at Sonic, but I also do think I could have done like a little better. Like I guess I don't try hard to collect a bunch of rings and stuff and like keep them.
I was just grabbing rings and I just wasn't dying. There were times I would have 200 rings in a level because the levels are so fucking long. Like I think the zone that I noticed it the most was Sandopolis Zone 2. Felt like it was 10 years long. And by the end of it, I had like 250 rings. And I remember looking, I was like, how the fuck do I have this many rings? That doesn't make sense to me. And it's because the levels are so fucking long.
Yeah. What do you think about Knuckles' design?
It's wild. I love it. I think it's the perfect cap to Sonic and Tails. I think him being an echidna is like a great animal choice. I definitely think it's just really good. I definitely like Knuckles. I think okay. By the end of Sonic 3, I really like Knuckles. I'm sure we'll come back to this. I'm pretty sure when we get to like Sonic 06 or whatever, like around that point where like, the three of them have gotten a lot of screen time together and stuff. I'm pretty sure Knuckles will be my favorite character in Sonic at that point.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can see that. He fits
Knuckles just
well enough to what you like.
I know I love him in the adventure games. I love him in Heroes, so that's just what I expect. I mean, I really like him. I love his story in this game. Just like, being kind of like unwittingly pulled along by Eggman, and then he kind of learns, and then the way he's like in a frenzy when Eggman steals the Master Emerald, I think?
Yes.
And he's like on all fours jumping around like a fucking maniac because he's so upset. I think it's like really good.
Yeah. I think this, like, even just in the sprites and like the classic games, it feels like it really knows how to handle Knuckles in ways that other things don't know how to do. Like, it's the perfect balance of like, he did get tricked, so like, he's not dumb, but he did get tricked. He does get angry, but it's not like overdone in any kind of way. Whereas like, Boom obviously makes him too dumb. Certain things probably make him too angry. It's just like the perfect middle ground here.
Yeah, because, he gets angry, but he gets angry because, like, the thing that is, like, the core of his people got stolen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, of course he's gonna get fucking angry. Uh, so it's really cool. I definitely like it. I want to replay the game. Okay, I don't. If the game wasn't as long, I would have replayed it as Knuckles. But with how long the levels took as Sonic, I couldn't imagine as Knuckles.
Yeah, because he can't even jump as high. So I mean, he can glide and climb up things, but it's still like, still kind of slower. You can't just like run and jump up on top of the thing because you might miss it or whatever.
I think Knuckles' gameplay is interesting. I don't like playing him as playing as him in the classic games, but I really like playing as him in Adventure. So I'm excited to get to those because I actually think he's really fun in Adventure. I love his stages. So it's one of those things where I think actually Knuckles' gameplay probably transfers better to 3D than like it is in 2D.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, because like Knuckles, I think like the gliding and the slower movement works great for exploring, right? Like he has great power and the climbing walls and shit. Knuckles is a great character for exploring stuff, and so it's good that that's what he does.
I would say that Knuckles' gameplay in the 3D games doesn't like hit like its most potential, just because he's usually looking for the emerald shards instead of like it's just the same reason to explore in every like scenario instead of like
right.
I don't know. Could have been something else.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, there are still zones I really like in 3, and there's still like I mean, the music's good, I mean, I like flying back. I think there's a lot more zones though that definitely feel like not as good.
Stand out as much.
Yeah, like like I mentioned, but like there's like Mushroom Hill, I think like Launch Base, Lava, or like there's so many zones I feel that like part of it is because there's so many, and a lot of them I think at this point they kind of knew, we want to start it on this kind of thing. I think there's a lot of times where like it doesn't stand out as much.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would definitely put that up to having so many zones because it does have 14 zones.
Yeah. However, the one gameplay thing that is great about this game that makes the water levels probably the best water levels in Sonic is the shields.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about the shields in general to mention them.
I think the shields are really good. It's actually like a really good gameplay because the shields were always in the games, but now they give them different things. And like my favorite thing is like I would have a shield, and that's also part of why the game is so easy because there's so many shields that you always get a free hit. And then if you have the electric shield, you're just picking up every fucking ring in the stage.
Yeah.
And like I did like sometimes, there were times where I was like in a water zone and I had the water shield so I could breathe underwater, and I'd see a fire shield and be like, I'm getting close to the end of the stage. I'd probably rather have this for the boss. So I'd change my shield, which is like a really cool thing that, there's almost like this, which shield do I want sometimes when you get to a shield box. And then sometimes you just pick up whichever one there is. But I really like the way the shields work. I like the 3 different powers they have, I think are all, because they all have 3 have powers, and then also things like different, like, because like the electric one magnetizes you, so rings go to you, and you have a double jump. The fire one, you're invulnerable to fire, and you have like the dash, and then the water one, you can breathe underwater, and you have the bounce. And I think all 3 have their uses in times where I wanted one of them over the other, and I think they actually are a really nice. You know what they kind of feel like before they were in the series?
What?
The little wisps or whatever from colors.
I can see that. I did like think about the idea of like the classic games, like kind of like they're not like overly gimmicky, but they did have like kind of gimmicks in some instances where it's like, they didn't just come out of nowhere in certain Sonic games.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it works. I mean, they never feel too invasive into like the core of what the games are. They just kind of give them a different feel in terms of gameplay that I like.
I almost wonder what the shields would be like in a 3D game because they don't really have them.
I mean, I think it would have to just be like the wisps, right? I have no clue. Because I can't think of a way to make. I mean, some of them Well, no, because you couldn't even do like the double jump because you have the homing attack.
I mean, I
It's a
think
good
some
point.
of
I
them would
wonder.
probably make it easy to mess up. Like if you're using the fire dash, you could easily like go off for like a ledge or something in a 3D
Mm-hmm.
game. I think
Yeah,
the electric one could translate well, and the water bounce one as well. I
I
don't
think
know.
the
I
water
do think
bounce one would be really fun.
they could work. I just I do think it's interesting that they never really like tried them.
Yeah, that they haven't shown up past 3 and Knuckles because they feel honestly in 3 and Knuckles they felt like a kind of like what a lot of stuff in 2 did, where it takes these ideas from the previous game, it took the shields, and it expanded on them, right, and it made it more of a gameplay thing. And I wonder if there had been more classic games made after that, right? Like if they had made a Sonic 4, would they have kept the shields how they are in 3, or would it always have been something that was 3 specific? You know?
Yeah, I wonder what Sonic 4 would have
Don't
done.
laugh about 4. I forgot that game existed when I said that.
But yeah. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention when we were talking about CD. CD, like, you know how I said that thing where it's like in more of an expansion of 2, like it's more like a sequel to 1 than 2 is.
Mm-hmm.
CD, the original intention while they were making that was to kind of sort of like they didn't think of CD as like the like 2, like they thought of it as a reimagining of 1. Like when they
Okay,
were
that's really
working
interesting,
on it.
actually.
Like I don't know how much that
That's
changed over time as they were making it, because like obviously there's a very like it doesn't feel like it's just like reimagined. Like it feels more like it's continuing, but
right.
it is like that was the thing they were thinking of when they started making it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Trying to think of what else I have to say about Sonic 3 because I know I wanted to bring up the shields. Do you have anything you want to mention about the game?
I mean, I think it's sad that it doesn't have the peel out. 'Cause I feel like it's like, why not? Because they
I
could
agree. Yeah.
easily put that. Uh, I did go into a stage as Tails just to see
Mm-hmm.
what it was like. And I don't know if I'm like dumb and bad, but I don't think Tails can actually use the shields. Like he can't really use them because once
Oh,
you
really?
press the button to like use them, he'll start flying. Like he won't like do the electric
Oh.
jump, and he won't do the fire dash, and he won't like he just doesn't use them. Like he has like
Mm-hmm.
obviously he'll be immune to fire and breathe underwater and stuff, but he can't actually use the shields.
Right.
I wonder if that's the same for Knuckles as well because the gliding.
Oh, yeah, because he'd just fly. And that might even work. You could even argue, like, well, Sonic can't fly or can't, you know.
Yeah, they're like more made for him.
Yeah, so he gets the extra addition, almost like to balance out Sonic and give him something. That's actually really interesting. I didn't think about that.
Sonic also has the like insta shield when you like jump and then you press the button
Oh,
again.
that's right. You have your double jump thing that actually I'm surprised has it really. I mean, that to me feels like what the like turned into the homing attack, but still like I'm surprised because I don't think that's in Mania even. And I think that's like a great like I did that on every boss. I don't know if it does more damage, but I was
It
double
helps out
attacking
for
every boss.
sure. And it's
Okay.
also like I also when I was trying out Tails, I tried out a boss and like I accidentally hit the button again and he went into flying and got invulnerable. So I don't know. It feels like it's better to like it's nicer when you're attacking with Sonic because you can't accidentally go out of the ball, and you can also like control how you want to like bounce off of the thing a little better and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
think attacking is just better with Sonic in general, and he also gets like a little bit of extra hitbox when he uses the insta shield.
Yeah.
So it's like even without the like shields like just straight up actually working for Sonic, he does have that like minor advantage, I would say. It's not just nothing. Though I would say that Mania probably does it better with having him have a drop dash, which is like, a different way to explore
Right.
and traverse and like, go
And the
throughout
drop
the
dash
stage.
is really fun.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how much I liked the drop dash until I was in a point where like I would try to drop dash just because I think it's so fun to do. And then like I had to realize like, oh, that's right. You don't have that until Mania. Because I almost never do like a normal spin dash. I just always drop dash in Mania because it's so fun.
Yeah, and it also just feels a little like worse to just stop and spin dash instead of like finding some other way to go fast.
Yeah. I think the only other things I have to mention are, what do you think of the special stages? Not the ones that are essentially Sonic 1 special, or is it? Yeah. What do you think of the ones that come back in Mania? The ones where you're like the blue orbs. That's it.
I like them. I mean, like, I don't think they're like I don't think they're great, but I do like them.
Yeah, I get turned around and fuck up the controls on them so often because they're kind of janky. I do like that after one, all the special stages try to incorporate some kind of 3D. I think it makes them feel real like special,
Yeah, it's cool.
But I will say that I think that like getting all the Chaos Emeralds in 3. And here's what I want to talk about, because I think getting all the Chaos Emeralds in 3, it's probably the one where getting all the Chaos Emeralds is the most important. Mm-hmm. But it has a special stage that I think can make it really hard. Yeah, well, because
how it's the real ending to have Supersonic.
Yeah, you want to have. Did you do Doomsday Zone?
I did not, because
okay,
I was playing with Air and I didn't know how to get into the debug menu. I don't know if it has like one or not, or if I was like I looked up how to do it for the game and I was trying to and it wasn't working, and I don't know if that was just because it was Air or I was doing it wrong. I don't know, but I didn't end up doing it.
It's really fucking cool. Did you like look it up to see, or have you seen it before? Okay. I think it's really cool because, like, so if you beat the game without doing it, right? You saw the ending you get, right? The game kind of ends and it's like, oh, but Eggman still has the Master Emerald. He's still kind of, you didn't actually beat him.
I mean, that one almost doesn't even make sense because he was flying off with it and I was hitting him. Like, why does he still have it? I don't understand. But
yeah, the only reason I think it works is because if you get Supersonic, it's great. It like actually the whole cutscene, like it feels so like cinematic, right? As like this big final climax to everything is now you got to turn into Supersonic and collect rings and fucking chase his ass down, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a victory lap. Like you can fail on it if you don't know how to beat one of the parts, but for the most part, it feels like this really cool victory lap where you're Supersonic and you get the emerald, and it's got good music, and it does feel like it's the end of the game in a way that like the game wouldn't have that ending if you didn't do Doomsday Zone, and it's really cool. I actually really like it.
The one thing I will say I do kind of like a little better about the normal ending, like it's not better, but it's like the one thing I do like when Sonic is like he's falling down from space and Tails catches him on the plane, whereas if you're Super, he'll fly next to it instead of being caught by Tails.
That's true. I do like him getting caught by Tails.
I feel like it'd be kind of cooler if they like he went out of Super after he beat Eggman and then Tails had to catch him. I don't know.
Like if it still had that like aspect of him, like he even after everything, he still does need Tails' help.
Yeah, I love how important Tails is when you like consider everything in the classic games. It's like I definitely like Tails more after talking about him here. Like I never disliked him, but I guess with a lot of things I've seen and I'm used to thinking about him in certain ways, I don't typically get him being like super, like I don't typically get to see him being super good and well done.
Yeah, it's great. I'm legitimately really excited to see where it goes. Like I'm really excited to see what happens next with Tails.
In terms of our playthrough, or in terms of like
just like the story and like where what they do with his character, and I'm really interested to see how Tails is handled in the next movie.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
I think that it's gonna be really fucking good, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I do believe he'll get his, like, he'll be fixed, because even in IDW, he's, he's better, he's being fixed and stuff. And in Sonic Movie 2, he's having this focus. So if the next game can also do him right, it's almost like a renaissance for Tails, since he has IDW, Sonic Movie 2, and now the game.
I would love. I mean, we'll talk about it. I would love to see more Tails focused. Because I think that's one thing that Forces really dropped the ball on, is it had this really cool idea of like Sonic's gone and look at all these other fucking, I don't remember what they're called, but like all of his friends are there, right? And like it kind of dropped the ball in terms of using them and making them like interesting and cool and
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Picking up and being able to do things without Sonic.
Yeah. So I have nothing more to say now though about 3 and Knuckles specifically.
We can rank them or give our like number rankings as well. I don't know if you want to do that right now or not.
No, we can do that. I was gonna say I originally thought we should talk about like all the games, like as a whole, but then I realized that I have nothing. Like... Yeah, we already talked about everything as a whole because we kept making larger points, so I have nothing to say about them as a whole. So yeah, we can just go ahead and rank them and do number rankings. Do you want to go first?
Sure. So Sonic 2's the best. See, I can go either way with going with CD or 3 and Knuckles. Like 3 and Knuckles is obviously the better game, but it's also like I really like. There's parts where I really don't like playing it. It really is too long for me. And I also think in general there's more like they put more springs to like knock you back, or like different things to just like your level's already long as shit, and you're doing this to me more so than other games, which is really annoying. I mean, I like the story and like what it sets up and stuff, so like I guess I could put it after 2. But CD, it's not like super far like behind, I would say.
Right, as your
because
third.
It's not like painful to play sometimes. So 2, 3 and Knuckles, CD, and Sonic 1. And 2 is very, very clear of 3 and Knuckles for me to play.
I have the same ranking and kind of the same thoughts, except I put CD. I would put CD as more of a middle ground between 3 and Knuckles and 1. But I definitely agree that like 2 is far and away the best classic Sonic game. Like if I were to go back and play 1 at any point, like outside of Mania, right? If I was like specifically I wanted to play an old classic Sonic game, I would go back to 2 in a heartbeat over any of the other ones.
I would go back to 2 and CD for me.
Yeah, CD I would go back to just to try to complete. But if I'm just going to play 1 and just kind of like play some Sonic and breeze through it and not think, it would probably be 2.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, I think I mean, great soundtrack. I mean, all the games have a great soundtrack, but I think 2's is my favorite just because I love Emerald Hill and Chemical Plant so much.
I like CD's soundtrack the most, but 2's really good as well.
And then I have 3 and Knuckles, and then CD and 1. And if I were to give them numbers, I mean, Sonic 2 is like an easy 9. I'd probably put 3 and Knuckles at like an 8. And then CD is like a 7, and Sonic 1's like a 5, I think. Maybe a 6.
I forgot to rank mine in terms of numbers. I would give Sonic 2 an 8. 3 and Knuckles a 7. CD a 7 as well. And Sonic 1 a 5. Yeah, probably 5.
Now here's my question to you, and this will be like the last one, but this is just kind of to gauge, because I'm not sure on this, and I'm curious. Do you think that there's a chance that after we play through all these, one of them will end up on like your 3x3 or your 4x4? Any of the
What,
Sonic
like the
games?
Sonic games in
Just
general?
yeah, any of the games we're gonna play.
Uh, I mean, I wouldn't say there's not a chance, but I also realized in some way that even though I really like Sonic, I like him a lot, and I like the idea of him and like his story and him as a character and everything, but his games have never like playing them is never like the top of the line like things that I like the most to play. Like I've realized as revisiting them, like it's very telling that I gave Sonic 2 an 8. Well, you gave it a 9. Like even though Sonic
Yeah.
2 is really good, it's not. I don't know. Like I don't gameplay wise. I don't know if there's a game that'll make it, even if, I like Sonic. And like when I was growing up with Sonic, the biggest thing I thought about when it came to Sonic was not his games first, but Sonic X. Like Sonic X is probably
Right.
what made me really like Sonic at the time, even though,
Yeah,
I didn't play his games.
You like Sonic as a character and as like the world more than you like Sonic as a game franchise, right?
Yeah, I'd probably say that. But I mean, I do hope I'm wrong there and have a game that's like surprises me in some kind of way. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. I just wanted to know that just to kind of, because like if you were like, yeah, I could see like Unleashed being on, or you know what I mean, just like a random game, then it's like, oh, we're setting up, intrigue for what's to come. I guess we didn't mention that we are gonna rank every game. I don't know if we're gonna rank we're not gonna rank the spinoff. So next time we're playing Spinball, what 3D
Chaotix.
Blast and Knuckles Chaotix.
One thing I do want to set up now is like we were talking about earlier, we might not have a rule that we have to finish those because
yeah,
some of them, like I've heard Spinball is really difficult in some stages, and it's like almost comes down to luck sometimes, and it just like runs you a really long amount of time. I just don't want to make it like we have to complete those.
right. And I could see 3D Blast make me want to kill myself. So,
those will probably be shorter episodes, just kind of talking about what we think. I do want to complete Chaotix, though. I do hope we can complete that.
I'm gonna try to complete Chaotix as well. But okay, and we're gonna rank all the games, and we might rank some of the other stuff. I might put in the comments of this video, the comments and like pin it or the description, everything we're planning to do. So y'all can get an idea for the full, like, shakedown of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so y'all can, if y'all want to play along or watch along. We are going to be doing the Archie comics. We haven't figured out how we're going to do it yet because it's so long. But I'm probably going to start reading them relatively soon. And those will probably be split up. But, I mean, if y'all want to, play Sonic along with us, and talk about it in the comments, I'm super down for that. Like I'll read them and, we can have a conversation about it. So
it's also good that we're doing the comics because it gives us a break from the games if we want to when we're doing those, and we can and like viewers can also have more time to play things if they want to.
Right.
I mean, really, what I would suggest is like try to play the Sonic games you haven't played before, at the very least.
Yeah.
Instead of you don't have to play everything again.
Now there are some games that I would understand. Someone's like, I don't want to play that one, like the Wii. Like if you have to buy the game, and it's not something that you can play easily. Like if someone doesn't want to spend money for the storybook games, just listen to us fucking talk about it when we get there. Well,
Look,
I'll buy
Sonic Sonic and the Black Knight is cool. Sonic with a sword, that's a cool ass idea. I don't give a fuck. That's awesome.
I've never played them. I'm really excited to play them.
I've played Black Knight. I never beat it though. I got stuck when I was a kid.
So yeah, I mean, and we will play Sonic Boom. So I guess if y'all are just sitting here to listen to us play the bad games, we will be playing 06 and Boom. So you can come check out those podcasts.
I can't wait to phrase 06.
I can't wait, dude. I was thinking about that the other day. Did I talk to you about that?
No, you didn't.
I can't wait to love 06. I can't wait for 06 to actually be a good game.
I mean, the only thing I'm be like, it's definitely the load times might be kind of annoying to deal with.
Yeah,
but
and it's buggy, but I definitely think that like there's a chance the game is actually like good. So, all right, I think that's it for this episode. Do you have anything you want to say to end it off?
Sonic is good. I like Sonic. I definitely see like even with the classics, I see a lot of what I like out of Sonic as a whole, and I wouldn't even say classic Sonic and modern Sonic are that different when you get down to it and you like see these things they're doing, you know?
Yeah, no, they're definitely like way more similar than I think I thought before going into it.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Adios. Adios.